Hello, and welcome back to this wonderful campfire. Welcome back to Campfire Stories. I'm joined here by the illustrious Cactus yet again.
Good morrow.
Cactus,
young
you have a different voice. So what stories have you
Well,
got for me today?
I can do that all day long. I can just switch voices all day long. It's fun.
I'm starting to wonder whether or not it's actually me. Anyway, so you have a story for me.
Yes, actually, I do.
Maybe we should tell him about the voices in his head.
No, we're not doing that today. No, instead, we will talk about an ancient legend. A legend that warns against the act of hubris. The act which, well, has fallen many. Today's tale is of the great Ekron, a vampire noble of a land long forgotten.
Well,
A war
whenever you're ready.
long ago, in a land long forgotten to time, a man ruled a kingdom alone. In past, he was loved by his subjects. In the past, all knew him as a hero. That all changed when a dark deal was made. The man made a deal with an ancient vampire. In exchange for immortality, he would wander the lands in search of gold, riches, and more, all while influencing the world at the behest of the ancient immortal. It was at the beginning of this story that we, begin. The vampire, which we shall name Ekron, began his story as many others, lost and wandering in the woods.
I mean, that kind of sounds weird.
Be quiet.
You're me.
Oh,
I am much more than that.
Well, that's ominous.
back to thing. Lost and wandering in the woods, Ekron stumbled upon a small camp. The roaring fire ablaze in the center. Two men within a tent, resting for the day. A useful idea for companionship, maybe. An opportunity. Who could say? He walked forward towards the encampment, only to trip a trap. And in an instant, he was impaled with hundreds, if not thousands, of arrows and was rendered unconscious immediately.
Well, that's anticlimactic. I'm pretty sure the story doesn't end there, right?
Quiet, other me.
All right, fine. Be that way.
The story continues. Hearing their trap set, the two hunters emerged from their tent to find the man, disabled and crippled. One of the hunters, a vampire hunter by trade, knew exactly what this thing was and just knew how to kill it. Because of the hour of the time, he began to drag the vampire away towards the sun, only to be met by a little girl.
What?
A little girl.
You're certain about that?
Yes.
All right, fine. Be that way.
As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by myself, The little girl stopped the two hunters, looked at them with a smile on her face. The hunters were confused, for good reason. As the little girl smiled, she grabbed Ekron by the collar and was gone. In an instant, the hunters were confused. Very confused. It wasn't until later that Ekron would awaken within a tomb, dark and alone. He waited until the nightfall came and emerged from the tomb, refreshed and anew. He wandered towards town, as was his original intention, and went into an inn. Due to the need for blood, he went and found a random commoner. Upon feasting upon one in silence, he threw him off a roof. Later, greeted by the hunters as well as a few new individuals, most likely the hunters' friends, Ekron began to make a deal with them. In exchange for working with the hunters, they would work together in security. At first, it seemed an unlikely alliance would occur, until the same little girl from before that saved Ekron immediately came out of a random room and just shouted he killed someone, immediately frenzying the hunters into an attack. The hunters were able to incapacitate this Ekron, but not before realizing an annoying truth. He was completely and utterly immortal. He could not be killed except through the sun itself. So they incapacitated him, staked him alive, and left him out for the sun. And there he burned to a nice, smoldering crisp.
So,
Well, that was boring.
so what you're telling me is this is how Necron ended. He burned alive by hunters. Well, by the
yes.
sun, but hunters did this to him.
Well, yes, obviously.
I gotta be honest, Cactus. This is a first. We've actually not had you talking. I say we. It's just me and you, and the many voices that are within inside of your cactus-like form. But yeah, this is the first time that you've actually told me about a story of a character dying. So, well, thanks for the story.
Well, considering the fact that the mortal coil is a very strong thing. On that note, by the way, I'll see you next week.
Thanks. Take care.